Hi everybody. We just wanted to come on and just share a wee bit about what we would have been doing this weekend, which wouldn't have been sitting here
No.
locked down in isolation. It was the Encounter More weekend at Causeway Coast Vineyard Church, where a number of folks would have gathered and spent the Thursday, Friday, Saturday together. And there's three themes for the weekend: were pioneer, pursue, and persevere. And we've been having a few thoughts on that, and we just thought we'd share a little bit of that with you now.
Yeah, we've just been talking about this, and I remember the moment the email came, and we knew it was cancelled, of course, but when the email popped up on my phone, Encounter More 2020 cancelled, I was just gutted. And this is our time for Andy and I in the year where we would normally take a couple of nights away. My mum was arranged to look after the kids, and we were really looking forward to a precious time. And also the theme, pioneer, pursue and persevere, as Andy said, that is something that we really felt so drawn to, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we really felt it was for us. But as Andy has said there, what we've realised over these last weeks in this lockdown time is actually what God has already been teaching us about these things. So we just had a few thoughts that we wanted to share. And the first one, pioneer. Pioneer means you're the first or amongst the earliest in any kind of field. And I was just thinking about that. And for many of us and for many of you guys, you have pioneered leading your family through a pandemic. Like, that is something that's never been done before. You have pioneered running a home through a pandemic. You've pioneered managing your household through a pandemic. Many of you with children have had to pioneer some kind of home learning. I don't want to call it homeschooling, but you've had to pioneer a way in your home where your children are able to be educated in literacy and numeracy and all of those sorts of things. And some of you have pioneered leading a business or maybe a company or a charity through a pandemic. And what you've had to do has never been done before through your home. And Andy and I have had to pioneer leading a church plant through a pandemic. Not sure how we're getting on with that. Definitely not something that we thought we'd ever be doing. But what we're trying to say is we've all been pioneering through this time. Many of you have been a pioneer for your community. You've come up with loads of new, inventive and creative ways to serve the people around you. You have been the hands and feet of Jesus. And when Paul writes to the Romans about his own ministry in the Bible, he says this, and this is Romans 15:19-20. In such ways I have trailblazed a preaching of the message of Jesus all the way from Jerusalem far into northwestern Greece. This has all been pioneer work, bringing the message only into those places where Jesus was not yet known and worshipped. There's no doubt in our minds that many of you watching will have pioneered and brought that hope, the love of Jesus to people and places that had not known him before. And I wonder how many living rooms has there been worship music, has there been online services, and those have been places where it has never happened before.
The second part of the weekend was pursue. And pursue means to follow, to carry on, or to continue. And to carry on or continue towards a goal, that's what so many of us have been doing over this time, in a different way than what we would have expected, as we've said. For many of us, the pandemic has completely thrown us off course from what we thought we were going to be doing in this time, or what we would have hoped to be doing in these days. It could have been, for our son, for example, he would have been doing his GCSEs, and that's all not happening. We know many of you are supposed to be slowing down in this time, in this season, maybe recuperating, taking a break, having an extended holiday, or just relaxing as you look forward to getting away somewhere for your summer holidays. But those plans are very different from what we would have thought we would have been doing at this point. Yet you have still pursued God on your call on your lives, even though at times it has looked really different than what we have thought. Many of us have grieved losses during these days. And instead of pursuing the plans, we've had to pursue Jesus and lean on him more. Colossians 3 verses 1-2 in the Message says this: So if you're serious about living this new resurrection life with Christ, act like it. Pursue the things over which Christ presides. Don't shuffle along. Eyes to the ground, absorbed with the things right in front of you. Look up and be alert to what is going on around. Christ, that's where the action is. And that's Colossians 3 verses 1 to 2. And isn't it amazing that when by pursuing Jesus, the Bible tells us we're going to be in the place where the action is. So let's continue to pursue Jesus.
Yeah, absolutely. And the third message for the weekend was persevere, and that means to persist in anything undertaken, maintain a purpose in spite of difficulty, obstacles, or discouragement, to continue to be steadfast. And I'm just going to read a verse from Hebrews 12, 1 to 2. Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith. And when I think of perseverance, I think of how the church, the body of Christ, has risen to meet this challenge of persisting despite the obstacles of not being able to meet together, of not being able to be in buildings together, of not being able to worship corporately. And despite the challenging technology issues that we've all had to work on really hard, we have overcome those. And many of you have been persevering in your circumstances, and despite many obstacles, you have stayed in your lane, you have continued running your race, and you have kept your eyes fixed on Jesus. I can't tell you how much Andy and I were looking forward to Encounter More this year for so many reasons, but mostly it was these three words that really pulled us in. And of course we knew it was going to be cancelled. But as I said earlier, when the email popped up on my phone, I was gutted. And yet, as this time has drawn closer, and I'm so glad to see that Encounter More is going online, and thank you, Neil and Janet, for organising that. But this has just really caused us to reflect so much on those three words, and we realise that actually the Lord has been teaching us so much about these three things, about pioneering, pursuing and persevering. It just looks a lot different to what we thought. Yeah. So we really hope that this has encouraged you today, and we just want to say keep going, keep pioneering, keep pursuing and keep persevering. Lots of love, and we'll talk to you soon.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.